What about you? Today we're going to be doing a video on lawn aeration and is it even needed? I've been giving you the wrong information on something. We're going to have to clear that up later. Let's go. How do you know your lawn needs to be aerated? I'm going to talk about a few different things that can show you that your lawn needs to be aerated. Now, if you're looking at your lawn and it has a lot of moss in it and it's starting to have bare patches, well then that's a pretty good sign that it's suffering from compaction and the roots can't get down in. If after heavy rainfall there's a lot of puddles landing your lawn, then those areas there, that's the places I would start where the puddles are. Heavy clay soils or gardens with a lot of thatch, they're going to need to be aerated more often just due to the nature of the soil. If your lawn sees a lot of use from kids playing or sports or just general use, are going to need to be aerated more often. Lately, I've been getting a lot of questions why aerating is even needed. To make that a bit easier, I've come over to the compost heap. Now, compost or soil, while it looks and it smells like a pile of muck, there's actually billions of life forms in your soil. They say between 10 billion and a trillion life forms in a bit of soil. And it's a really diverse ecosystem. It might have viruses, it might have fungi, it might have nematodes. Lots of microscopic bacteria life forms live in healthy soil. They're all really important in helping breaking down the organic matter and supporting the building blocks for your plant's growth. It's a jungle down here underneath your lawn, and it's often easy to forget that your lawn's alive, and the more you can work with it, the better it'll be. Now, I hear you say, Robbie, this is all very interesting, but what's all this got to do with my lawn and aeration? Whenever we improve the soil structure, then we're going to increase the pore spacing. Aeration can also improve the soil and help with your drainage. It's going to prevent the risk of waterlogging, and that's going to make a more hospitable soil or environment for the life forms that are in it. Now let's go into the workshop and have a look at some of the different tools that we can use to aerate our lawn. Welcome into the workshop. We're going to have a chat about different types of aeration, the tools that you would use and when you would use them. So number one, we're going to talk about this drill with the auger bit on it. Really good if you have bad soil and you want to replace some of it. Drill this down into the ground, puts a lovely big hole into the ground, and then you can fill that hole with whatever you want, compost, sand, stones, etc. The next tool that I'm going to say that you can use to aerate your lawn is our old favourite, which is the fork. We've talked about the fork quite a lot in this channel. Some people will tell you that whenever you put the fork into the ground, because you're not removing any material, you're compacting the hole on the way down. While that may be true, the fork's very good and it mimics something that professional groundsmen do. They use a machine called a vertidrainer that it goes down into the ground and it pivots and then it comes out. And what that does, it creates fissures in the soil that lets the water penetrate deep down in. The name of the machine, it's called a vertidrainer, a vertical drainer. So that's what we can do with the fork. And that's what we're doing as well with the drill bit, because you're going deep down in. Places where I would use the fork, first of all, would be walk on off areas of the lawn or places that you're getting a lot of puddles. The next tool I'm going to talk about are the shoes. Now, if you go onto Amazon and you type in aerator, these are going to be pretty high on the list. I don't believe that these do a great job because the spikes on them aren't deep enough and they're not thick enough. You're not really doing anything. Plus you risk the damage of hurting your ankles walking about with these stupid things on. For aeration, what I recommend is hollow core. For most places, I would hollow core. The benefit between hollow core is you're pulling out that little core. The reason why we hollow core is because we're removing thatch from the lawn, so we're helping with compaction, plus we're removing thatch. Now there's different tools that you can use to aerate your lawn. Again, if you're looking on Amazon, chances are you're going to see a tool like this. The downside to these tools is that there's no side core ejection. So whenever you push this into the ground upside down, whenever you push this into the ground, the core has to go from here to here and push out the top. This generally doesn't happen, and as you can see, these get blocked up. For aerating lawns, and if you want to do it manually, I reached out to a company called Garden Imports Limited. They supply these aerators. I believe these are the best aerators on the market for manual use. Some of the reasons why I like it, I'm going to leave an affiliate link down below. If you want to buy one off my link, just let you know it helps support the channel. The reason I like these, they're stainless steel. They're really, really well made. You can take the cores off. You can take the hollow cores off. They come with spare parts, and you can put these on. So what's the difference between these and the fork? I'm going to say probably not very much. The spikes are maybe for somebody that has a swordman lawnmower, swordman aerator. You want all the swordman gear, you may as well have these too. Before we go back down into the garden and do some aeration, what I would like to say is it's more important that you do the aeration as opposed to how you do it with. If you don't have any of the fancy tools to do it with, you can do it with a fork or the drill or whatever you like. More the fact that you do it than you don't do it. First up, we'll have our fork. Pretty simple. Put it in, give it a wiggle. So we'll have these ankle breakers. For the spikes that attach onto my feet, onto my shoes, I'm only going to wear one because the last time I had them on, I nearly damaged myself, so I just need to be careful with them. You can hardly see the holes that they make at all. For me, these things here are useless. One place where these belong, and I'll show you now, in the bin. As we talked about in the workshop, these are meant to eject out the top, but they didn't, as you can see here. There's no cores lying on the lawn. Next up, we're going to try the auger. This is really good if you want to change, if you want to put some compost down in your soil. I'll show you that now. To show you with this stick how deep we went, you could go deeper if you wanted. Now I would suggest if you were going to do this on different areas, you would stick to smaller areas, but if you had really bad soil here, you could put holes all over your lawn and fill those with compost. You can see the difference. This tool here, really hard to get in that one wee bit of ground. This one here went in really easily. It also pulled out our lovely cores. This one here didn't pull out any cores and was really hard work. If you have a larger lawn, you're probably going to go to a hire shop and get the likes of this machine here, which is a powered aerator, much faster for doing larger areas. However, it comes at a cost. I said at the start of the video that I was wrong about something. Now you can see the cores that have come out of this lawn. They recommend that you leave the cores lying on top of the lawn for the bacteria. Whenever they start to break down, you're going to help get the bacteria down into the soil. However, I'm going to say that comes with a caveat. If you have a very clay lawn and you're pulling out little clay plugs, then you probably want to clear them up afterwards. It's going to come down to personal preference. So as you can see, we use that machine to remove the cords off. I'm not a fan of leaving them on the lawn, but if you want to leave them on the lawn, that's fine. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, I think you'll really enjoy this, so watch this next.